Hi everyone, welcome to the CodeQueryHub. So in this video, let's learn a new topic in SQL, that is data combining. So basically data combining means how we combine data from multiple tables. So let me write it as how we combine data from multiple tables. So we can add the data in two ways. For example, we can add the columns or we can add the rows. So this can be done in two ways. We may add the columns and we may add the rows also. So let me show you. Suppose we are having two tables. So this is your table 1 and this is your table 2. And you can add both of these tables in two ways. So this is your table 1 and this is your table 2. Here you are adding columns of table 2 with table 1 and this is your table 1 and you're adding table 2 at the bottom of table 1. So here you are adding rows to it. So in SQL, when you add the columns, or you can say you are adding the table 2 to the right hand side of table 1, this type of data combining is known as the joins or merging. And if you are adding data in this way, then in SQL, it is known as appending or sets. So you can combine the data in these two ways. So let me write it as, when you are adding column, it means you are adding the data to the right hand side of the previous data table. And when you are adding rows, it means you are adding the data at the bottom of the previous data table. And when you are adding rows, it is known as joins or merging. And when you are adding rows, then it is known as appending or sets. Let me write it as joins or merging. And this is known as appending or sets. Now, let's understand the joins in more detail. So when we use joins, suppose we are having two different entity set. For example, table 1 consists of order details and table 2 consists of customer details. So this type of data is different and we are adding columns of it. We can say when the two tables are from different entity. Entity means real world object. So you can say example, table 1 is of customer and table 2 is of order table. Also, it may be possible that table 1 consists of 10 columns and table 2 is having of 4 or 5 columns. So you may have same number of columns or different number of columns, and accordingly your data type may or may not be same. So you may write it as number of columns and their data types may or may not be same. So when you are doing join, your two tables are from different entity set and number of columns and their data type may or may not be same. So these are your two conditions for the joins. Now, let's understand it for the appending or sets. Suppose you are having the employee details of Chandigarh, and this table 2 consists of employee details of Punjab. So you are having similar data type but having data from different states. So you can add the rows here. You have to add the rows here, and this type of merging the data is known as the appending. So you can say in appending, when the two tables are from same entity set. For example, you have the employees data of maybe some another state, that is Punjab. So in this case, you can do the appending. And the second condition is, now in this case, if you want to add the rows, then your number of columns and their data type must be same. Because if your data type is different, then you might not be able to append the rows. So we can say in this case, number of columns and their data types must be same. So this is the required condition. Now let's understand the types of join. So we are having different types of joins. So one is left join, right join, inner join, full join, self join, cross join, natural join. So let's understand one by one. So basically we use these four types of join commonly. So let's understand it with the help of Venn diagram. Let's represent the table with the help of Venn diagram. So you're having these types of join. So in left join, you are having all the records from left join, left hand table, and the matching records from the both the tables. So suppose this is your table 1 and this is your table 2, and similarly this is table 1, table 2 in all the Venn diagrams. So let's understand it. So this is known as left join. In left join, you have to take all the records from the left hand side table and the matching records from the both the tables. And let's understand right join. Let me write, this is your inner join, and in right join, you have to take all the records from your right table and the matching records from the both the tables. In inner join, you have to take the matching records from both the tables, and in full joins, you have to take all the records from the left hand side table, right hand side table, and the matching records from both the tables. So this is the pictorial representation of joins. So let's write the definition. So in left join, you have to take all the records from the LHS of the table plus matching records from the RHS table. Similarly, in right join, we have to take all the records from the right hand side table and the matching records from the left hand side table. And in inner join, you have to take common records from both the tables. And in full join, you have to take all the records, all the records from both the tables. And in self join, let's write the cross join first. So in cross joins, it will return you the maximum number of possible records after the tables are merged. It means you have to map each record of the left hand side table to the right hand side of the table. So in this case, it returns the maximum number of possible records after the tables are merged. So suppose we can say it maps each record of left hand side table with all the records of the right hand side table. So in this case, if you apply the cross join, then the total number of records will be, suppose you are having m number of records in your left hand side table and n number of records in your right hand side table, then your total number of records will be the Cartesian product of m cross n. So this is not used in your practical scenario because it is not optimized, because it will take more time to process the query. Now, one more join is there, natural join. So in this case, the records are mapped on the basis of common column name. And it is not used in practical scenario. Now, suppose you are having a column as customer column, and this is your order column, and you are having the same column name like ID and ID in orders table. So ID in the customer table specifically refer to the customer ID, and ID in the order table refer to the order ID. Both have different context, but the SQL will think of it like same, and it will not give you any fruitful result, or we can say that it does not make sense if the IDs for the different purposes are matched here. So this is not used in the practical scenario. And a self join means, like its name suggests, a table join with itself. So we will understand it more when we do the practical examples. So it can be left, right, or inner join, depending upon the requirement of the questions. Now, which join you want to apply? It depends upon what output you want and what tables or columns are required to get your output, and on the basis of which columns you should merge and what calculations to be done to get the output. Like we have seen in our previous videos, uh, we have done the previous video of CTE where we have done the question in step by step manner, and so it depends basically on your output. We can write some steps involved joins. Like, first we must know what output we want and what tables or columns are required to get the output, and on the basis of which columns merging should be done. So it all depends upon your data, your question, your project requirement, like which type of joins or merging should be done in order to get the required output. And also what calculations to be done to get the output. So you must think of these whenever you are applying the joins. So let's do the question part in the next video. So that's it for today. I hope you found this video helpful. If you found this video helpful, please do like this video and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to Code Query Hub for more such videos. So thank you for watching.